Hey everybody, happy FriYAY to you all. I haven't done a live feed. Well, I did one this morning, so that's kind of a lie, but I haven't done them in a while because I was overseas and I had a phenomenal time. I was gone for 6 weeks. I was in the Ukraine, Poland, I was in Egypt. And so I wanted to talk a little bit more again about, well, let's use me as an example. And that was part of my lifestyle, right? How was I able to go overseas and spend 6 weeks, still work, still have fun, still do what I want to do? So I talked about this before while I was in the Ukraine, and it really is centered around reverse engineering what you want for your lifestyle. So if you're unhappy with your lifestyle at this very moment, if you're unhappy with your job, if you're unhappy with your position, if you're unhappy with your finances, if you're unhappy with anything, first and foremost, blame one person. It's you. Everything will come back to decisions that you ultimately made in your life. That's true for all. When I'm in a bad position, I can try to blame somebody else, but when I really look back at it, it's something that I did. So let's talk about the ultimate lifestyle that you wanted. So first and foremost, my lifestyle when I got started, my why in this industry was to be able to provide very, very well for my family and my children. I was able to accomplish that. Now my kids are teenagers. And so dad's not as important anymore relative to the hugs and the kisses and dad, let's go to the water park and dad, let's do this. It's more dad, can I have a new truck, a new car? I need some money. I need some gas money, that kind of stuff, right? So even in that, just being brutally honest with you guys, was a transition for me. It's like, okay, I have to re-engineer my why. I have to re-engineer if I want to keep living the lifestyle that I have, obviously that's going to be dictated by my actions. And I have to re-engineer from the bottom up what it is. And what I started to realize now that I'm 46 and I'm like, oh my God, in 4 years, I'm going to be 50 years old. Holy shit, right? What I realized is that the one thing that I always wanted to do was I wanted to travel more. And so giving myself the why of being able to travel more has reinvigorated my energy to keep pushing hard. Because let me tell you this, it's fun, but it's not always easy. And actually, the reverse is true. Most of the time, it's not easy because the more success you see, the more people depend upon you. Okay, as you build a downline and now lifestyle or GVO or whatever you're doing, as your team grows and grows and grows, more and more people are going to rely on you, and so the pressure gets a little bit higher. It's still well worth it. It's still wonderful. The past 22 years has been absolutely amazing, being able to raise my kids. So anyway, let's talk about that again a little bit more. So you have the perfect lifestyle in your mind, whether it's financial freedom, whether it's time freedom, whether it's to be able to take care of your kids, whether it's to have the dream home, whether it's to have the Ferrari, whatever your why may be, you have to reverse engineer that lifestyle. So lifestyle is created by what? By your success. If you have good finances coming in, if you've got passive income coming in, if you're seeing good money without having to trade time for that money, that's a certain level of success. But the success is created by what? Your actions. If you do nothing, nothing happens. And nothing could be more true than a lot of people in network marketing, right? A very few percentage of people do very much. 3 will set you free, 6 will make you rich. 3 action takers on your team will set you into financial freedom, which means usually anywhere from $5,000 to $7,000 a month. 6 can make you extremely wealthy. If you have 6 action takers on your team, that makes all the difference in the world. Now, it can take sometimes 6 months to years to finding those action takers, right? But the success that you put in is going to be dictated by your actions. Now, what creates your actions? Your actions are dictated by what? Your feelings. If you're always focused on the positive, if you're always focused on being grateful, and you're willing to take massive imperfect action, then you're going to see a certain level of success based on those actions, right? So actions are only created by your feelings. If you don't believe you can do it, you're not going to do it. If you're always focused on the negative and the bills and stuff like that and how you're going to pay your bills, you're not focusing on actions that are important to be able to move forward. And so those actions are based upon your feelings. Now, your feelings ultimately are based upon positive reinforcement, negative reinforcement, whatever the case may be. Your feelings are dictated by your beliefs. And here's where you have to become a real student of self-improvement, okay? I love to use my mother as an example. I think my sister's watching me. I love my mother to death. She was the most amazing person on this planet. She took care of me. We had great conversations. She was my protector. She was my best friend growing up. But the internal struggle I had, because my mom came from a very conservative mindset, was I realized over a few short while, maybe a year and a half, despite being the best mother in the world and wanting to edify her and do whatever and make her happy, she was never going to be my business partner, because whatever I was doing in her mind was too risky. And because it was too risky, she got scared, you know, and her negativity would come out towards trying new things. And it was just her way of trying to protect me, right? So what I started to realize is that I had certain core beliefs that were dictated by my mother and certain core beliefs that were dictated by my father. It's kind of like the rich dad, poor dad, right? Not to say that my mom didn't do an amazing job, she did, but I always had that entrepreneurial spirit in my head, which was dictated by my father. My grandfather, as an example, my dad's dad, was an amazing entrepreneur. He owned the liquor license for all the province of Quebec. Anybody who wanted to buy alcohol through him, they had to buy it through him. And as such, he was very wealthy. To be brutally honest, I'm diverging right now, but he died broke because he was a horrible gambler. But the thing is, what you have to focus on around your beliefs is your internal programming. So it took me a long time to let go of wanting ultimately to please my mother. And it took years. And the honest truth is, I always knew deep down from the age 11, I wanted to be an entrepreneur. I always knew that I wanted to work for myself. And honestly, if I could have let go of that fact of wanting to edify and appease to my mother, I probably wouldn't have gone to university. And I remember the first time having the inclination to her that I didn't really want to go was after high school and something called CEGEP that we used to go to in Quebec. And I said to my mom, you know, I don't really know what I want to do with my life, and I want to take some time off. And her exact words were, no fucking way. Only bums take time off school. You're going to school. And I'm like, okay, Mom, well, what am I going to do in school? Well, when you were a kid and we went to the playground, you were always curious on how the Ferris wheel worked and how all these just mechanical things work. You're going to go into engineering. Okay, Mom. So I went to engineering at Carleton University and flunked out miserably. And, you know, as such, you know, did a degree in cardiac rehab. But the ultimate moment for me was in this internal struggle, and I share this story with you guys because I know many of you have your own internal struggles with changing your programming, because our programming by about the age of 7 is really rock solid inside of you, okay? Really rock solid inside of you. And give me just another minute or two, I'm gonna show you how to slowly but surely and consistently change your mental programming so that you can take the necessary actions and you reverse engineer this upwards, right? So if you change your programming, you're going to change your beliefs. When you change your beliefs, you're going to change your feelings. When you change your feelings, you're changing your actions. When you're taking the right actions, you're going to see success, and success ultimately dictates your lifestyle, right? So the final moment for me, I was working at the Montfort Hospital in Ottawa, Canada, and I had been there for about 3-4 months, something like this, a long time ago, right? So I don't know, it's like 1997. The ultimate moment for me, and I remember it distinctly, I was talking to one of my colleagues. I had been there for a few months and I felt my energy waning. I felt my depression building. I felt terrible. And my colleague, so right out of school, I was making $52,000 a year. And the colleague that I was with, talking to at the time, she was getting ready to retire. And she was making $56,000 a year. And I was like, wow, I get there's inflation and all that, but technically a $4,000 raise over the next 25 to 30 years, thank you, but no thank you, right? So luckily during that time frame, my programming had already started to change. And this is how you change yours. Your programming will change when you start getting around people who are doing or living the lifestyle that you want to live right now. So without me realizing it and really being cognizant of what was going on, I was doing the personal trainer for a billionaire in Ottawa, Canada. And we became very, very good friends because, man, I wanted to live the life that he was living. You know, I haven't seen that level of success, but that doesn't matter. I just knew that I edified him. I enjoyed him. I loved his energy, his time, his passion, his charisma. I loved everything about him. And sitting in a 35,000 square foot home, he ain't too shabby either. So I do his personal training for him. And my programming started to change because I used to talk about a lot of good ideas. And he and I would talk a lot about good ideas, and he would take massive action on those ideas. Just a little sidestep. One day, he was complaining that all his developers were getting really, really fat. And at the time, I was being sponsored by a nutrition company called iNutrition, or if you can even still go there now, they're still in business, interactivenutrition.com. You can go there to see that I'm telling you a true story. And I said, listen, this company can probably make a high protein, low carb snack, and instead of your programmers eating chips all day, they can snack on something that's healthy and probably get in better shape, right? Because he knew healthy body, healthy mind, and that's what now lifestyle is all about. So the conversation lasted 30 seconds. 30 seconds. Finished the workout, and he was paying me $100 at the time, which is really good money to go and train somebody for like 15 minutes because he was doing the 7-minute workout type of program. And so I went to leave. He goes, wait. I'm like, okay. Comes back with a check for like, I think it was $35,000. Anyway, I had never seen 3 zeros on a check before. And I was like, what's this for? He goes, that high protein snack. Can you do it? And I was like, I left there and I realized he's not smarter than me. He's not brighter than me. He's not more ambitious than me. He just, when he hears a really, really good idea, he takes massive imperfect action. Now, unfortunately, the company couldn't make the product that he wanted. He wanted to create like a Hershey's Kiss style packaging where they could snack on it. They couldn't do it. Had to give the money back. That really sucked. But it was such a lesson for me because I realized at that very, very moment, by hanging around somebody whose lifestyle I admired, whose lifestyle I wanted to move towards, was changing my internal programming. Nothing more than experience, okay? What your parents tell you as a child, okay, is important, but nothing dictates more than experience. And a lot of us have had a lot of negative experiences in business. I had a couple of businesses that failed, and because those businesses failed, I became more and more cautious on starting a new business. In fact, just to let you know, starting GVO and now Lifestyle, I started that company on a budget of $150 a month. That's the truth. My company before that, I was a nutrition company. I had spent $15,000. I took out a loan, but I had my backup plan on that. And anyway, the point I'm trying to make is I get most of you have tried businesses before and they failed, and that reinforces programming inside your brain to be very, very cautious. Here's what I'm telling you how to break out of that. Number one, education. Self-educate all the time. I'm listening to Audible books all the time. I'm always learning every single day. I don't read a lot of books because I'm multitasking, but I do a lot of Audible books. And that way I'm learning. And I'm learning always from people that are doing better than me or whose lifestyles I admire. And here's why. You can have all the passion in the world, but it takes massive passion, immediate action, and a continuous education from the right people. So a lot of you had massive passion, but you can have your passion go like this, 2 degrees this way, and that's absolute failure. And somebody who, if you had the right mentor, will tell you, no, don't do that. And then you can take that passion and have the proper education to absolute success. Now, success looks more like this. Fail, success. The average self-made millionaire has failed over 7 times. What does the average person do? They fail once and they're like, oh, this just isn't for me, right? So the key to changing your programming is number one, and it's hard to do. This is not easy. It's hard to do. The number one thing you have to do is start associating yourself around people whose lifestyles that you admire. It's so true. Take the people that you hang around with the most, take those 5 people, add up their income, divide it by 5, you're going to be somewhere in that range. And it's really hard because sometimes it's family members. Sometimes it's not family members. It's very, 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 very difficult. But you've got to start hanging around people that you admire. That's number one. And then number 2, why? When you're hanging around those people, you're going to start creating experiences in your life that are positive, associated with changing your programming, changing your thought pattern. okay? And thank God for my billionaire mentor. Thank God for my billionaire mentor. Actually, my daughter's FaceTiming me. Let's have some fun with her. Hello, you're live on a live Facebook. Can you see that? Oh, goodness. Yeah, I'm doing a live right now. Love you. Say hi, everybody. I love you, too. And I'll call you back, okay? Love you. Bye. Anyway, that's my daughter. She dumped me today. Just like you know, I was supposed to go up to College Station, spend the night with her, but she's got bigger plans, right? That comes back to how my why has changed. You know, when your kids are kids, it's mommy, daddy, hug you, love you, kiss you. Things change a little bit after that, right? So when I think back, had I not had that billionaire mentor who had started to initially change my programmings, which affected my belief patterns, I don't think I'd be here where I am on right now, because I had failed at a couple other businesses due to lack of knowledge. And that knowledge comes from, again, associating yourself with people whose lifestyles that you admire and who are from people who are already doing what you want to do. That's just the way it is. So again, just recapping in summary, reverse engineer. Everybody says, I want a better lifestyle. But the reality is, how does that lifestyle come about? Well, lifestyle is dictated by your success. If you're making good money, if you have passive income, if your income is greater than your expenses, then you, in definition, have financial freedom, right? If your passive income is greater than your expenses, you now achieve financial freedom, okay? So, but the lifestyle is dictated by your success. Your success is dictated by taking massive, perfect action in the right direction, right? That's where a mentor comes in. Those actions are dictated by your feelings. Those feelings are dictated by your beliefs. And your beliefs are dictated by your root programming. And the only way you can change your programming is being around people where you want to go and being a student and a master of self-improvement. Teach and train. Teach and train. And that's how you're going to build a massive team, right? If you learn something today, teach it to your downline tomorrow. That's the important thing. If you want to become an expert, okay, technically you can become an expert by reading 5 books on any subject. I've read 20 books on network marketing, probably, maybe more, I'm not sure. And then other business books, Good to Great. I've read, not the perfect example, but it popped in my head, The Art of the Deal by Donald Trump. I've read Rich Dad, Poor Dad. I've read them all, and I've listened to a lot of them, to be honest with you. So that's the key, folks. Focus on the bottom aspect first, which is your root programming, and that's ultimately going to dictate what your lifestyle becomes. And I know it firsthand, because of having that billionaire mentor. So happy FriYAY, everybody. Love you all very, very much. Share this with your groups, share it with your team. Be a master and a student of self-improvement every single day, and get yourself around like-minded people, and get yourself around people whose lifestyles you admire, and get yourself around people who are doing things where you want to go. Have an awesome day, folks, and we'll see you again soon. Bye for now.